Sick fat, healthy fat. What you got? I'm Risë, and I'm here with Ben Lingle, my friend, and we are discussing the topic of being fat.
Healthy fat? Really?
Yeah,
There's
healthy
such
fat.
thing as healthy fat?
Yes, and there's such a thing as sick fat, and
Okay.
that's what I want to kind of prioritize. So all of us have fat. Even the average person that you think isn't overweight, fat is a really important part of our body. But fat can become sick, just like any other part of our body. And when fat becomes sick, that's when we start seeing it grow and become dysfunctional and really perpetuate disease in our body. And that's the stuff that we don't want. So how does fat become sick? You want to take any jabs at that?
Ooh, well, I know a little bit about maybe things oxidizing in our body. I don't know if that's involved with
for
sick
sure.
fat. Inflammation, I know that can maybe be a part of it, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you know how we talked about how fat cells become their own little chemical factories
Yep.
and start producing like compounds and start releasing it,
Yep.
start releasing their own hormones? Well, some of those are pro-inflammatory molecules, meaning that now this fat is driving inflammation in the body,
Wow.
right? So not only can inflammation infect fat, but now it's producing it. It's kind of causing this subgrade low chronic inflammation in the body, which is perpetuating fat. So people can easily find themselves, in a vicious cycle. And one of the things that can make fat cells sick is actually just that they're growing. So there's two ways that fat cells can grow. So the first way is where they actually multiply. You can actually grow new fat cells. There was a time when people didn't think that was possible, but it is, right? So we actually can get more and more fat cells. But picture that like they're all kind of small. There's just more of them, okay?
They multiply.
They multiply, and so we start seeing a larger mass of it in our body.
Yep.
But then there's the fat growth or gaining weight that occurs when a fat cell becomes larger. So now it's like it started small, but it's getting larger and larger and larger. A fat cell can distend 20 times from its original size.
Wow.
So it didn't double, it didn't triple in size, it's 20 times larger.
Now, can those cells that get bigger, can they also multiply and get bigger and multiply and get bigger?
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
Huh.
I think it's just the small cells multiplying and then the big cells just distending, right?
Interesting.
I think they all kind of start off small and then as more calories and good stuff comes in, they get larger. But the thing that happens, because as you can imagine, anything that's getting bigger, think of a balloon, right? At a certain point, that balloon's like, I cannot handle any more input.
It's going to pop.
It's going to pop,
Yep.
right? So you have a cell membrane around these fat cells, and at a certain point, they're going to be like, I can't handle any more. I can't take any more. So these cells, in a way to compensate for that, they start producing what's called insulin resistance. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Yeah. I wonder where you've heard of that.
Well, I know that a lot of people who experience diabetes tend to be insulin resistant.
Okay. Insulin resistance is foundational to diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, infertility, liver disease, fatty liver. I mean, we could just go on and on.
Gambit of things.
The whole gamut of things.
Wow.
Insulin is foundational, and it's foundational to why we're fat. We started out with that question, why are we fat, right? Well, we've got this sick fat. And why is this sick fat sick? Well, it's because it's gotten so distended, it's developed this insulin resistance, and this insulin resistance is now creating this vicious cycle because when the fat cell becomes insulin resistant, it drives high insulin levels. Okay. And high insulin levels is probably the #1 reason why we're fat. And we're going to explain that in our next session. I hope everyone joins us. But picture this fat cell. Okay. So it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, I can't handle anymore. So there's literally someone who's shoveling in the calories into the fat cell.
Wow.
Who is that someone? That's insulin.
Oh.
Insulin is the guy. He's the molecule that is, we call it a storage hormone, but it's taking those calories and the glucose from our blood, and it's putting it, its job is to deliver it to the cells, to have it enter into cells. So when it enters into muscle cells, we produce energy out of it. When it goes into fat cells, we produce fat out of it.
Interesting.
Most of it, not all of it. Yeah. So here's this cell that knows that insulin is responsible for making it get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, I can't handle getting any more bigger, so I'm going to no longer listen to insulin.
So in some ways, insulin is almost a neutral thing, depending on what it's fueling. Whether it's fueling our muscle, it's more of a positive thing, but if it's fueling the fat, well, that's going to be negative.
Right. In excess.
In excess.
In excess, for sure, right? It's the natural function job of insulin, opening the door, throwing the goods in, kind of maybe thinking of it like in a muscle cell, it's picking up the coal and throwing it in the burner so we can produce energy out of it.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily what's going to happen in the fat cell to all of it.
Interesting.
The fat cell is going to be much more efficient in storing that excess as fat. So there's the fat cell getting bigger, can't handle anymore. Insulin, I no longer want to listen to you. I no longer want you to be putting more and more into me because I can't handle it. So it develops insulin resistance. Yeah, and this is the foundation of sick fat.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch all of our latest content on our 3ABN Plus app. Click the link below or scan the QR code to download our app.